Alright, we're back working on this Springer fork here, trying to make the this disc brake wheel work on it. So, I got a few issues I got to deal with. One is the caliper won't fit over the brake rotor. Two is I got to do something about the spacers here, so I got a couple longer ones here I might be able to use. This one's about the right length, this one I got cut down. Or I can cut down one of these here to be the same as that and double stack them. So customer more like the idea of one space than two, so we'll see how that works out. And then the other problem was this is not a 3/8 hole here, it's almost a 1/2 inch. So we had a bolt in here like that we need to do something about. It's a little bit loose. And also there's a spacer that we had in here with a nut, which is right here. So we need to make that up. So I got a chunk of aluminum here I'm going to use, which will give me I need to be this long here, plus I need to recess into the fork and sleeve the fork down to my 3/8 size. So I got to do that also. So this was a 7/16 wide as I recall, so got another part to work on. So I got lots of different things. Also he wants to put a hubcap on the wheel down there on the hub. So hopefully that one will fit. Says it does. We'll see. This here problem we had here was the pads are too wide for the rotor to go in, which is a big problem because the wheel won't roll. So anyway, this was if you watched the previous video, you see how this was beat on with a hammer to make it go on there. So there it goes right there. You gotta beat it on, see. So as far as I can tell, these pads here are the same width as these new ones right here, which is a different manufacturer, but same pad number, which is an FA69B. That fits the Ultimate caliper. So it fits some other application, obviously, but so we got a problem. So the rotor, when I do modifications, I like the parts that I use to be made to fit. So consumables can be replaced. Consumables are brake pads and brake rotors. So you can see how tight that was on there. So this here is about 215 thick, which is thicker than some brakes, but that's about normal for these old ones. So I don't think that's the major issue here. Actually that's a stock rotor width diameter for these things. Not diameter, thickness. I haven't checked into that yet further. Looks like the pads here are held on these two screws right here. Take these two screws out and the pads will come out. You got two pins down in there with the springs on them. That's what holds them in. So I'm going to take this apart and see what it looks like inside. See what I can do to make it work. So obviously we have some issues here. Don't fit. That'd be a major issue. Alright. All kinds of little things keeping the front end from going together. I figure it's going to be metric here. Oh, that's way bigger than that. Go to smaller size. Yep. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be metric. Doesn't appear to be American. Definitely not American. Metric crap. Alright. Metric crap. Yeah, not very good even on that either. About 4 millimeter. Metric is just a tick bigger than American usually. Like 10th difference maybe. Not much. Just enough to be different. Okay, these set screws, those are set screws. You didn't need that, did you? Okay, so now I gotta figure I can get that thing out of there. Okay, looks like there's an access hole back here to run a pin through it. something to push on with. Be like a drill bit. Just don't have some of those. Something small. Let's go with the smallest one on line here. Much crap out. Okay, let's see how that works. That might do the trick. Okay. This is hard on your fingers to push against, so I need my rag to do that. Oop, pin comes out, see? Alright, that's pretty simple. It's probably about an 1/8 inch hole, it looks like, close to it. Alright. Parts of this rag are clean. We'll use this. Okay. 1 pin, 2 pin. So now I'm going to have a spring in there, 2 springs. Come chasing after us here. Yep. Springs are not really needed. Just get the pads from rattling. We also bind them up a little bit. I'd rather listen to rattle and have them binding. But that's me. Alright, so there's these things here. So let's see what thickness these are. Stuff looks like it's about 400 thick on everything. Yep, just under 400. 398, 397. 398, 398. Probably about what these things are here. Uh-oh, somebody opened it. Jeez, how did that happen? Alright, we picked up 3 thousandths. 2 or 3 thou. I don't think that's going to be enough. Step in the right direction, but not quite what we need. I think I need at least 20 thousandths. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so those are the same. Not going to help us. Pretty much what I figured already. Next thing is, what can we do to make this fit better? So machining the caliper out is not going to be an option because it's not a flat surface in there that I machine to. It's all sculpture cut. So that's not going to happen. Now, the piston's sticking up too high. Don't appear to be sticking up hardly anything. This one's a couple thousandths here. This one here feels flush. So we can't gain anything there. So that leaves either got to cut these things down, which means every time you need pads, you got to cut them down. That'd be a pain in the butt to do. These are EBCs also, same brand as the other ones. These are the V pad. These are the cheapo pads. So standard quality. These are more high-end pads. Okay, so that's why they're all the same dimensions, same manufacturer. So these aren't really the problem either. Problem is the caliper's made too damn thin. You could make a shim in there, space this whole caliper out. It'd be a pain in the butt to do. You have to have some kind of an O-ring in there to seal it. So that would definitely be a pain in the butt. Alright, so that leaves, what can we do on brake rotors? Appear to be about 208 in thickness. So let's go see what I can dig up on brake rotors. Maybe I can come up with something that's like 180. I know some of them are 180 in thickness, but we'll see. Looks like a standard front brake rotor, 84 to 99. So let me go take a look and see if I got something different. We'll be back. Alright, we're back. Can't come up with anything that's going to be any helpful for me here. So the rotors are all the same thickness, if not thicker. So it comes down to, the only thing I got to modify is the pads. I don't really want to modify pads because they wear out the most. But I'm just going to have to do something here. Those sure don't look like they're square, do they? Sure they are though. Yep, pretty close. They're about 195 thick. So these need to be made thinner. It's just a matter of what I do to make them thinner. I don't really want to sand on them because the grit can embed into the material and then chew up everything. So I don't really want to do it that way. If you mill it off with a mill cutter, it tears up the cutters pretty good because the brake material is not easy to machine. If you cut off the side of here, the steel, it'll machine a little bit easier, but how are you going to hold it? It's kind of hard to clamp onto a piece of material that's going to break when you put pressure on it. It'd be really hard to do that. So you have to sand this off with a sander. That won't be very flat, but that would be an option. Be a lot of work. I could use my disc sander back there and knock it down that way. That would be probably a easiest way of doing things, I guess. Just knock them down a little bit. But those aren't going to be dead flat either. It makes them, the surface grain always bows it up a little bit. It doesn't cut in the middle, it cuts in the sides more. No matter what you do, it does that. So that leaves milling, cutting the pads, something like that. So if you cut all this off, you're going to definitely have rust. So I think my option is to see if I can cut this off with some kind of a mill cutter or something. So you only got a couple options for holding these. Well, I don't have a magnetic table, so that eliminates that one. So that'd be holding a vise, which is going to hit right here on these two flat spots here, which are not very square, and on the top over here. And it's going to probably want to buckle up a little bit like this when you do that. There's a lift on you when you tighten stuff in the vise. If you clamp this down in the vise, that would hold it more square. If you hold the vise this way, you cut perpendicular on the edge with the side of an end mill, which would definitely tear up the end mill pretty good. But that would be the best way of holding it. I can hold it pretty good that way. But it's going to want to bend away, obviously, from pressure. The best way is if you can hold it this way and not flip up on you a little bit, which it probably is impossible not to do that. But we'll see. Because then you just use a little single cutter, fly cutter. It only hits the one little part at a time, keeps the pressure down. So that'd be the least amount of effort. And the bit you can sharpen again easily. Alright, tools on my way. Let's see what we can do over here in the mill. First we can do is make room. Everything's in the way, as usual. Alright. Not squared up my vise yet, so first thing to do is probably go get that thing squared up. Okay. Hammer. One of these. And one of these. Okay. Appears to be close. Doing is you're making the indicator not move. Probably can't see it from that angle, but you can from this angle. So that means the vise is square, straight. Alright, so that's the first thing I'm going to do is get that squared up. It's always important. Next thing is to clean the crap off of it. Couple of parallels here to put your level thing here. Okay, those are the same height. Take our pad, stick it in here. Appears to be pretty flat. That's a plus. So when your two parallels don't move, got tension on them. Okay. That means they're equally flat. That means this is flat. Good, now I can take a cut off here and I'm below my surface here, so I can take a skim cut right across that. Make it good and flat. Alright, so now we just need something to cut it with. Where's that thing undone? There we go. Okay. These are pretty used up cutters here. These are just about done. They've been ground so many times. They're a very large radius and they're almost the same height as here. So there's not much left of these. So you can't do too much damage to them. They're already worn out. The problem is that all that surface area with a large radius, you got a lot of contacts. So it's going to want to work this pad out of here, which could be a problem. We'll find out. So I'm going to crank this thing up a little bit. That should be good enough. That'll warm you up. Okay. Yeah, you want to make this thing just wad itself up when it comes out of here. So if you're turning this way, it goes that way. If it's turning this way, it goes my way. So we're going to start on that side so it goes that direction. If you start on this way and went this way across, it'd be coming toward me. So it'd be hitting me in the face. Also, all the crap goes that way too. So we're going to start over here on this side. I don't know if you need to cut slow, fast, or medium speed, so we just cut it at a relatively slow speed for this. We're starting to cut. Alright, let's see what we're cutting here. It's only hitting right here on the edge. Feels pretty flat still, so whatever it's cutting ain't much. Alright, let's blow this thing up. We'll see what happens when it comes chasing after us here. Might get interesting here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to zero out my cutter here. Call that 0. Let's see. Let's try a 5 cut because I don't know what's going to happen here. See the powder coming out the side there. Appears to be cutting all the way across the face. So within 5 thousandths it's cutting everything, so that's good. Means everything's pretty flat. Good picture there, wasn't it? Okay, so we cut 5 with no problem. There's 10. Maybe 10 total. And cut another 10. That's 15 total coming off. At a fairly high feed rate. Definitely putting fumes in the air there. You smell them too. Frankly, it's going pretty good there. I could hook the vacuum up over there and catch all that, I guess, by holding it. Well, that's all right, we just breathe it. Can't be that bad. It's not asbestos, at least, I can tell. It smells different. Definitely does smell like brake material though. Blow it around a little bit. So I'm going to come up a few thou there. Okay, so that was 15 off the surface, at least 10 off the total. So how much do we want to take off extra? I think I probably should take 20 total. 15, I take 30 off total, it'll be 15. Yeah, we can try 15. I'm gonna hit the other brake pad too, what the hell. I'll have some fun doing this twice, right? Alright, so we're gonna take this one off. I think 30 total off would be enough to make it fit pretty good. You want to make the lifespan too low for him. See how much we really cut off. Yeah, cut off almost 15. We're now at 85. We're up at 98 before. So, was it 95? I forget. Cut at least 10 off anyway. Just happen to have another one here to measure. 98. So we start at 97, 98. Now we're down here at 78 to 80. 82 on this side. Oh, picking up a little 85 in the one spot, so it's higher on this side for some reason. Not sure why. Huh. Let's see, that was the trailing cut was thicker. It's got a little wear taper to it now. That's not a very good machine job. It's hard to get good help. So you can see how smooth this machine fur surface is versus the rough ass sand finish they had, or whatever, however they cut them. I'm not sure how they cut them at the factory. They're definitely rough. You can see how smooth that one is, how rough that is. Okay, so I'm going to try this one here. Same deal. Feels pretty flat. Okay, that down. Try it again. Once again, it's cutting a little bit high on this side for some reason. Parallels seem to be tight. Maybe there's some junk under them. Don't look like it. Something's causing a little bit of an error. Let's try tapping them down a little bit. Make sure it's all the way down. That actually did help. Yeah, it's hitting on both sides now. Definitely more on this side still, but better. All right. Good cut here. So we were at 15 before. We're cutting at almost 13 right now. Most of the fumes. Harder to hear the cutting though. Got 20. debris on the backside over there. Alright. Number 2 is done. Alright, let's see what we did on this one. Even though we cut more with the same number, 80. A little bit thicker in the middle, back down to 80. 80. 80. Where the hell did it get thicker at? When I measure this direction, I get a little thicker, but when you measure like this, you do, okay, you get a little bit on that side, so it's tapered in the, yeah, it's got a little bit tapered. It's a little bit thicker on this side than this side. We're within 5 thou though. Okay, so we took off 95, 15, 30 minus about 5, so we got about 23, 22 to 25 that we've taken off total on the tight spot. So now let's find out if that's enough. So let's put the pads back in here. Put the pins back in the holes, like that. See, that puts our pads back how they're going to sit. Now let's see if this will fit on our brake rotor. Not too far away. Have to look at the wheel to see that, right? Voila! We got clearance, see? Okay, so that was a success. We have room for the pads to, for the pistons that work like they're supposed to and everything. Alright, so all you need is about $5,000 worth of tooling. You can fix your brake pads to make them fit. Yeah, not too bad. I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem for the average mechanic, right? Okay, so now for the fun part. We could install these springs back in there somehow without losing them. That ought to be interesting. I'm sure there's no chance of these things blowing anywhere in your face and getting you. Okay, I'm thinking we need to put them down inside the hole down here because there's no way I can get to these normal. This is too short to use. You have to have a longer one like this. Okay, where's the other one at? So you gotta put these down into there. Okay, now what I'm gonna have to compress the coil spring. That's down in there, and then slip the pad in there. Of course, there isn't really room for my screwdriver in here either, because this one's way too fat. I don't think that worked. It definitely didn't work on the other one over there. So that's called a failure. I need a lot thinner screwdriver and a lot longer tip to make that work correctly. See, that spring is turned sideways, and that one I think I'm on top of. Maybe not be. It might actually be in there. Let's see. Yeah, that one might actually be in there. Pin's kind of going in there. Barely. There it goes. Okay, that one the pin went through, so I'm assuming that's in there correctly. That one there turned sideways. It definitely is not in there. So maybe we can use the this tool here. Doubtful. Yeah. Nope. No way of making that work. Alright. I'll use the Allen wrench this time. I'll use the driver here to pull that out. There we go. Brake dust in here is giving me a headache. Good stuff, I guess. Alright, so attempt number 1 failed. Let's see. If we put the other one in first, might work easier. Okay, we'll put the 2 springs in there. There's no room to put that in there yet. So the pin's coming from this side here, so if I use that as a way to do it, okay. Now I can use the pins to hold the springs in there in the correct spot. There we go. There you go. So now you get the pins will keep the springs from turning sideways. Now all I do is compress them, and I can put the pad in there. So I'm not sure how we're going to compress it. I'm able to get this one in here on the one side only, maybe. Do one at a time, kind of. Come over here, do the other one. That one just popped. You heard it? Rotate the pen to get it to go in. There it goes. It looks like the one. Okay, here's how you're going to have to do it. See, that's the trick. There has to be a way of doing it easy. Okay, that worked a lot better than the first time I did it. Okay, these are just screws, set screws. Go in there and lock the pins in so they can't come out. Definitely can. Yeah, that brake dust is definitely giving me a headache. Whatever's in it's probably not good for you. Okay, so pads appear to be in there correctly. Let's double check and make sure they do fit the brake over here. There we go. Appear to fit correctly. So first job's done. Caliper fits. That was a big plus. Alright, next thing is spacer. I'm going to make these all work. Alright, so let me take a break right now, clear the air a little bit, and I'll be back.